Hi, I'm Chris Burgess with Premier Guitar. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, Summer NAMM '09, and we're hanging out with Cole Clark. Jamie Gale is with us to talk a little bit about Cole Clark's electric line, which is now available in the U.S.
That's right. Thanks, Chris. So I'd like to point out the line looks obviously very traditional, very familiar, okay? But that's about where it ends from there. The guitars do have a very unique tone to them, although certainly paying homage to the heritage from where they come from. First of all, just like our acoustic guitars, we choose to focus primarily on Australian indigenous woods that are renewable, sustainable wood sources. Okay, in this particular guitar here, we call it the Guardian. Okay, the Guardian features a Queensland maple body. Okay, Queensland maple is a unique Australian tone wood that really is actually much more akin to mahogany than our North American maple. Really, it's nothing like maple at all, frankly. It's just a poorly named tree in Australia. Okay. And as a result of the unique tone wood, has a very different sound, something you'd expect to come from an alder or from a swamp ash, that you might expect in the classic guitars it's sort of reminiscent of. We do wind our own pickups right in the factory at Cole Clark, and we choose to use very high quality hardware. Our bridges are Wilkinson design bridges. Okay, Trevor does a great job at, again, paying homage to the classics where they come from, but yet making the needed improvements. Okay, and then of course up here we use Grover tuners again. Okay, this one happens to feature an Eastern Rock maple neck for the traditionalists. A great guitar, the Guardian, coming in at a very reasonable price point here in North America. Made again in Melbourne, Australia. So the guitar beside it, we'll find the Culprit 1 in specific. Again, this Culprit 1 also happens to be a Queensland maple body, although it's available also in bunya, which is a really great tone wood that we use for the tops of our acoustic guitars. And when you get this available in a bunya, it has a really sort of acoustic resonance to it, very lively guitar and very light. That's the first thing that people usually mention, like, my goodness, it's such a light guitar, it just resonates so wonderfully. And again, it features a Trevor Wilkinson design bridge. You'll notice, again, we have a traditional 3-saddle bridge, but Trevor compensated this bridge so that we can actually intonate these guys, which is a pretty important feature in our minds as far as an electric guitar is concerned. And again, Grover tuners. Now, it's important to point out that with the Culprit series, the neck, although it does look like our, something more reminiscent of a early 50s design, the neck is actually a bit of a different profile, and it's the same sort of neck as what comes on our Guardian. Okay. Now, the next guitar I'd like to point out is our Culprit 3 series. Now, the Culprit 3 has really been the star of the show. It's got a fantastic review. Anytime we've shown it to dealers and players, just love it. As a matter of fact, we've already sold the ones here from the booth in the first couple of hours of the show. It's such a great model. Again, you can see it's a historic-looking sort of guitar, but that's about where it ends. Because this particular guitar, you'll notice even by looking at the headstock, the neck on this is Tasmanian blackwood. A very bold, fast-responding neck, not too dissimilar from playing something with a rosewood neck. It's a very fast response. The body on it is Queensland maple, and the top on it features a 3-piece Tasmanian blackwood top. Now, these tone woods, again, make this guitar a very unique sounding guitar that has everything that somebody of a traditionalist will want in it, but yet something different to offer them. It's not just, another version of this guitar. Now, we also, again, feature a unique design by Trevor Wilkinson, where we have the saddles here, but not the full plates, which is interesting as far as what it does for the tone of the instrument's concerned and such. This one features a humbucker and a single coil, as we call this the Culprit 3 HS. Okay. The humbuckers, whenever you see a humbucker in a Cole Clark guitar, we always feature a coil tap. Okay, nice. So we can get those traditional single coil tones in there, but also when we want to really kick it up and let it scream, the humbucker's there to do it. This guitar is an extremely versatile instrument. That's usually the response I get from anybody who plays it. They can't believe all the tones they can get out of this guitar.
A few ukes and lap steels here. Tell us about these.
Yeah, well, let's start with the ukuleles. In this case, the Ukelady. This is the UL1, the Ukelady 1A for amplified. Now, if you're familiar with the construction of our guitars, the ukuleles are built the same way that we build our regular sort of steel string guitars. Okay, again with an integral neck joint. okay, where we start with the neck and build the sides into it, then apply the top and back, okay. And in addition to that, the same sort of gluing on the inside without the added kerfling, the carving. It's really a very solid, beautiful design. Of course, one of the biggest features about Cole Clark guitars in general is our amplification system. I tell you, we saw one of our artists just the other night here in Nashville, Z.A.V., who's on the Brushfire Records, Jack Johnson's label. He's a very talented singer-songwriter from Malaysia who was playing the same instrument, the Ukelady 1. I got to tell you, this thing sounded so fantastic coming through the PA system. It's always great for us to go and hear, you know, the work really happening in live. The Ukelady is available in the same series as our guitars, the 1, 2, and 3. Again, the same sort of thing where we add snowflake inlays and binding, and then we add the abalone and such as well. Okay. I'd like to point out the pickup system in this is very unique. We've modified essentially our acoustic system, and instead of having a 3-band EQ, we just have a tone knob. We still have the blend between the face and the bridge, okay, and a volume. Now, because of the size of an ukulele and the size of a preamp normally, we didn't want to weigh it down. We didn't want to take up so much space. So this pickup system, we actually, if you focus down here, we added a rechargeable preamp too. So there's no 9-volt battery in here, there's no weighty preamp. It's actually all very light. So we just have an adapter that plugs in here, you charge it up, you get like 20 hours of playing time out of.
Nice.
And again, the anti-pop jack, which is featured on all of our acoustic instruments. If you happen to step on this on stage, it doesn't pop your speakers. This is our newest addition to the ukulele line. Okay, this is what we call the Jack Tenor. Okay, a beautiful tenor ukulele built in a similar fashion to what our guitars are built and the other ukuleles, but in a tenor scale, built with a cutaway and the same pickup system. Fantastic instrument. You'll actually see Jack Johnson touring with this, Johnny Marr from Modest Mouse you see on the road. It's just a great piece that's quite unique in the marketplace. And again, because of the Cole Clark amplification system, it makes a fantastic professional touring piece. As you can see, this one here is reminiscent of some classic designs, but done in a new way, in the Cole Clark way, paying homage again to the tradition of where it came from, but making it Cole Clark, making it its own thing. This particular piece here we call the Lapdog. This is the Lapdog 2. It features a solid bunya body with a Tasmanian blackwood top and a traditional style single coil pickup.
Sure.
Okay. Grover tuners, and a Bakelite nut for that traditional sort of sound. Okay, and the brass down here. The Lapdog 2 is a fantastic instrument that's been getting a lot of sort of great reviews off of. You know, I encourage any steel player to check this piece out. It's very unique in the marketplace. This is the Violap, in specific the Violap 2P for 2 pickups. Okay, this is a product that we actually designed for Ben Harper a number of years ago when Ben was trying to distort his Weizenborns not so successfully. And Brad Clark's thinking here was really much like the problems of amplifying jazz boxes in the 1940s, trying to get something that didn't sort of feedback all the time. They invented the 335. And this is really a combination of the 335 and a more traditional hollow neck lap steel like a Weizenborn, where we've taken our proprietary pickup system, again with a pickup built into the face and one built into the saddle here. And as opposed to trying to distort that signal, we actually just added 2 additional humbuckers with a 3-way switch and a volume and tone. Okay, you'll notice down here we have 2 separate outputs. So we run the acoustic system to a PA or an acoustic amplifier, and we run the humbuckers out to usually a dirtied up tube amplifier. And as you may have seen yesterday here when Jerry Douglas was here, because Jerry's been using this on the road with Elvis Costello and Alison Krauss, Jerry's been using a volume pedal with these humbuckers and just sort of swelling that in and kicking it over the top to add something that no other instrument on the market can do at this point in time.
It's a pretty clever solution.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm amazed every time I hear this piece. It's quite inspiring, and I'm very happy to be involved with it. So that's the Cole Clark Violap, or the VL2P.
So where can people find you online?
At coleclark-america.com.
Very cool. Thanks, Jamie. I'm Chris Burgess. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.